You know, a long time ago, I heard from a mentor, you only want to play with people who want to play with you. And I didn't even understand what he was setting me up for. Like I thought, oh, of course I only want to play with people who want to play with me. And then years begin to happen and experiences. And I began to turn toward people and they turned away from me. And I had to constantly remind myself, I only want to play with people who want to play with me. And then I heard this statement, and not to get too spiritual on you, and I'm not religious and getting religious on you, but I heard this other statement from my grandmother. She said, baby, man's rejection is God's protection. And I didn't understand that when she said it until I got rejected enough. And I realized that I'm only hurting about the rejection because of my need to be approved, my need to be loved, my need to be validated, and my perceived idea of what could have happened with me and him or me and her had I not been rejected. Now, you might have to press replay on this one because there's so many layers of lesson in this. It's not a one-timer. When people choose to not choose you, there are two things happening. One, there's the opportunity for you to stand in your power and say, I woke up this morning and before anyone else had to like me, I had to like myself. Before I checked in with my coworkers, before I checked in on Facebook to see if I got any likes, the first and primary responsibility is for me to like me. And everything, I want to hear you saying everything in your house, in your office, in your car, everything else is bonus. So when you come from a place of I like, I love, I accept me, and I'm going to give the best version of me to you, and then you choose. And then my job is to be whole and complete, irregardless of your choice. That's number one. And number two, when you find people rejecting you or not accepting you, you have an opportunity to look at, and without any make wrong, it's real important to not make yourself feel better by making someone else wrong. We do that as a society so much. Always say, in order for the relationship to break up, we think there needs to be brain splatter on the ceiling. And that's just even a small tiff. There doesn't ever need to be brain splatter on the ceiling. If someone doesn't choose you, then it's their way of saying, this is not a fit. And we're just not mature enough or socially adept enough or have enough communication skills to say, this doesn't fit. Your love style, your communication style, your way of being doesn't fit with me. And for us to be grown-ups, well, I guess the key word, grown-ups, and go, okay, when we move in ebb and flow more, like everyone's not going to like me. As much as some people love this channel, some people are like, Lisa Nichols, bleh. And my job is to still stand powerfully in who I am, irregardless of those who love me or those who don't. That your life, the value of your work experience, the value of your life experience isn't contingent on how many people accept you. It's contingent on the value you are bringing to every environment you're in. My question to you, are you playing full out? Or does someone else's choice to shut down and play small cause you to shut down and play small? That's where the lesson is can you love the difficult to love? Can you embrace the difficult to embrace? Can you show and shine your light when you're looking at other people living in their shadow? It ain't about them. It's never about them. It's always about your lesson of how can you, in this situation, access the best version of yourself. Like I would love for you to walk into any situation that would normally be straining, whether it be your in-laws, whether it be holidays, whether it be co-workers, whether it be an ex-husband or lover, whether it be a child that's going through a dark time and they're difficult to be with, whatever it is, I'd love for you to walk into the situation going, how can I demonstrate the absolute best version of myself in this experience. It's easy to love the lovable. It's easy to like the situation when we're all kumbaya. But you want to see the best version of you? Find your stillness, your wholeness, your self-acceptance, your gratitude, your compassion in a moment and an environment where there's shadow and where there's darkness, where there's resentment and anger. And the only way compassion, forgiveness, and love will enter that room is through you. Ooh, now, that ain't for the faint at heart. And everybody is not going to take me up on this challenge. You just going to sit and watch me on the computer and go, that's good. And that's where it'll end. But I challenge you. You want to find the best version of yourself? You do that. Because then your environment doesn't dictate your joy. Your environment doesn't dictate your peace of mind. Your environment doesn't have any form of control of how valuable and how exciting and how meaningful your day is. Because when you walk in the room, you don't wait for the room to accept you. You walk in the room already accepting who you are, and everyone else can do what they choose with it. And not in a way where it's dismissive or disrespectful, but just in a way where you've taken a long journey back to you and you've arrived at yourself.